Have you ever watched something, then watched the sequel and had it improve the original thing? This is a rare feeling for me, but I felt it pretty hard recently. This music video called Chinatown Blues just came out, and it's the prequel to my favorite Western Vocaloid song, This Feeling Is a Cliché. Now, I've talked about my love for This Feeling Is a Cliché before, but I'll reiterate. It has so much going for it. It's simplistic in appearance, but beautiful and engaging all the way through. The song has such a distinct synthwave style that perfectly complements its video, and not only is it beautiful in style, art, and music, but it's one of my favorite examples of a perfect love song. The premise is established in the first 15 seconds of content, and it's so clear the motives of the characters almost immediately. And then it just sucks you in with a catchy tune and engaging visuals, and then it's over. I could watch this hundreds of times, and in fact, I have. As big of a fan as I am, I knew the next episode in the series was coming. Chinatown Blues. I was excited, mainly, but hesitant. Could it recapture the feeling This Feeling Is a Cliché mustered up inside of me? And the answer was, as you may have guessed, a resounding yes. Take everything good I had to say about This Feeling Is a Cliché and multiply it by 10. Beautiful visuals, a song so catchy it hasn't left my head since the first time I listened to it, and so engaging I watched it about 20 times the first night it came out. Now, I expected it to be good, of course, but what I didn't expect it to do was change my view of This Feeling Is a Cliché, and that only makes it more impressive. I'd like to talk about why I enjoyed this series so much. In general, I'm not a huge fan of Western Vocaloid music. Pretty much all my favorite artists, my favorite albums, my favorite PVs, and my favorite stories are Japanese. But then there's audio, who sits top 3 in almost every category. I've always been a huge sucker for love songs, and this spans back as far as I can remember listening to music. But I've never seen it told from the perspective of someone so relatable, someone who hates love. I don't even think this is necessarily an uncommon emotion, but it's a rare one to ever see portrayed well in media. I heavily identify with this character type, so seeing it done well is a huge sell for me. But This Feeling Is a Cliché isn't her full story, it's the climax. We know something happened in the past to get to the point of throwing pies at couples, and we know something will happen in the future with these two. We're shown what seems to be the moment of them switching from hating love to loving each other. And that's just the tiny bit at the tip of the climax. Chinatown Blues instead elaborates on what I believe to be the exposition of their story. It's a similar sized chunk of story, but this time it seems to be about them meeting. And boy, does it give some insight into their relationship, as well as Gumi's mindset. Starting off with Gumi's backstory, we're shown her with her parents and childhood friends and this heart pendant. It's shaped like so because it represents her heart. It's really unclear what we're seeing in these two shots. At first, I thought her parents separated, and that's why she's upset, but I'm pretty sure they're the same couple. So here's what I think happened. She made this romantic mixtape for this boy that we see she was friends with. Her pendant cracks. He says no. She went to her parents for consolation, but they were so caught up with each other, and she went to school and saw the boy she liked and her other friend work together, and her heart shatters. I don't know if this is exactly true. Maybe I'm just projecting and seeing what I want to see, but that's what it means to me. It's heavily implied in This Feeling Is a Cliché, but I've been of the opinion that Gumi is a fundamentally broken person. I don't mean that in a weird way, but normally people don't throw pies at couples, as funny as that may be. I figured at some point in the past she was burned, and seeing it actually play out has bumped up her character from easy to empathize with to impossible to not empathize with. Cut back to the present, and we're shown what could be Gumi and Chromo's first real interaction. Previously, he protected a couple for being pied, but they didn't really interact past that. What sticks out to me here is Chromo's portrayal. In This Feeling Is a Cliché, he's shown going along with Gumi's antics, but here, he goes out of his way to stop her. And the obvious question to ask is, what changed? I'm interested in finding out for sure, but I noticed something. Every shot where Chromo is shown interacting with people, it looks like they're best friends. It happens like 3 separate times in this video. In fact, Dana, who presumably just met him, looks about ready to fight Gumi just for disrespecting him. But the lyrics continue to call Chromo dumb or lacking intuition, and I don't know if I believe that. Remember, it's Gumi singing. I think Chromo is just friendly to a fault, and Gumi can't understand that. And to further solidify this point, the ending. She goes to get her revenge on the guy that everyone in the club seems to love, and despite how much I may empathize with her, when her plan comes crashing down, I can't help but feel like she deserved it. What she didn't deserve, however, was to be saved from the situation by the person that she came there to assault. And as airheaded as its implied Chromo is, I refuse to believe that he didn't understand the situation and make a conscious decision to go against the crowd. And taking these into account, going back and watching this feeling is a cliche, although nothing has actually changed, everything seems to carry a whole lot more weight. From Gumi's backstory to how the two met, it gives this whole other dimension to their interactions. And so, Chinatown Blues has not only become one of the best Vocaloid music videos out there, but has managed to raise another one there along with it. And then you consider that it's actually a track on the album Wesley Dreamers where there are 4 other songs that are just as good or better. In fact, Chinatown Blues isn't even my favorite on the album. That goes to Flowers in Bloom. This whole musical endeavor, to me, is a shining example of storytelling and animation that other Western producers could stand to learn from. And in fact, I think every Vocaloid producer out there could afford to learn something from Chinatown Blues.